I'm Corey Urban, and obviously this is my sister Katie. I would kind of like to break the rules and have my brother Darren come up with us this evening. My fault, our brother Darren. Okay. I'm not very good with microphones, obviously, but we are honored to introduce our father tonight for the Vic Masi Award. He has taught us a bunch of lessons, and throughout the years, hundreds and hundreds of kids in Elgin, some of the same lessons he taught us.
Transitioning from Grolick Park to the new Continental Fields down by the river taught us how to dream big, and possibly with a little blood, definitely sweat, and most likely tears, you can reach your goals. Dee would drag Corey, Darren, and I down to the fields, and we would start out on one side, working our way to the other, picking up rocks, glass, garbage, and miscellaneous debris. He had us digging dirt, carrying dirt, helping in the concession stand, and many other laborious jobs. Lesson one that he taught us: if you want something, you have to put in a lot of hard work. As Corey, Deryl, and I were providing free child labor for our father, we would be walking around Continental doing all these different tasks, and Dee would stop and talk to everyone. Even if it was the first time you were meeting him, by the time the conversation was over, he wasn't just Dee, but he was Coach Dee. And he would have also gathered up more free labor because all of those parents and adults were more than happy to send their kids off to help as well. Lesson two we learned: find joy in what you do, and others will want to help you too.
When some of you think of Y basketball, you probably think of noon ball, Saturday ball, Christmas Eve ball, but to us, the Y was our second home. We would go all the time, and Dee would have us at a basket practicing, but it was never just us. It was whatever kid that was not an adult was in the gym, he would mandate that they would come to the basket and they would go through the same drills that we would go through. And it was always boys. We were the only girls in the gym. And one thing that he taught us that still carries with us all the time is that sports should be a place where equality exists for boys and girls. We all should have the same opportunities.
As a side note, personally, he taught way too many of our rivals all those drills, and they kicked our butt at Larkin too often. But these mini camps and practices eventually turned into the YBL, a league that grew longer and lasted longer than he ever expected. The YBL gave many children opportunities in Elgin. He looked at every kid who played as his own kid. Today, he helps me at Larkin, Corey at Whitney Young, where he continues to bring a sense of family and importance of support. Lesson 4, you can't do everything on your own, and support one another.
Preparing for this introduction, we realized that we shared our father with so many others in Elgin. It was not really something we thought about as kids, and Elgin sports was just a part of our life. We think that there are two main reasons that Dee has always been so involved in Elgin sports. First, it's because he has a passion for helping others, as well as a talent for getting others to be just as passionate. And second, his wife and our mother, Marlene, has always been so supportive. She knows his heart and has pushed him to follow it. It is an honor for us to introduce our father and your coach, Deryl Carter.
Wow. Thank you, Corey, Katie, Darren. As far as Corey and Katie go, as a lot of people around town say, my basketball daughter and my softball daughter. All right, and as long as I'm thanking, I have to thank my wife, right? Because, you know, I can't make kids, all right, the way things go. And Marlene has always been a part of everything that I've been involved in around this city. I also want to thank all my family that came, my brother, who's got to have the picture and everything. And, you know, and the good thing about this, because we got mom and sister and cousins, but my extended family, all right? And, you know, when you have friends that become your extended family, you really can accomplish a lot, all right? And they're the ones that, you know, get involved with you. I want you to know I came to Elgin. I got a job. I was working in Rockford, and they gave me the opportunity to move into the Chicago area. And Marlene and I wanted our kids to grow up in a racially, a good racial mix community. All right, and at that time, it had to be a suburb, all right, because I went to college in Naperville, all right, so it became Joliet, Aurora, or Elgin. All right, those were the best suburbs, that were mixed. All right, Elgin won out because of the Y. I went down there and I played. I liked the Ys. I have always been a member, my brother and I, of the Ys growing up. And I said, hey, I could live here in town. And then as my kids grew, firstly Corey, all right, I started getting more involved into the Y. All right, and it was because my daughter Corey and a friend, her name was Tina Sauter. All right, they both were in 5th grade, and they had Y. They started the first year of the Y program. They had 24 kids. So the guys lined them up, smallest to tallest, and Corey's pretty tall, Tina's pretty small. All right, so Tina went down with the 2nd graders, Corey went up with the 6th graders. All right, and if you know me at all, which some of you do, especially the basketball players, that ain't gonna fly, with me. So the next year is when I got involved. But what was good, all right, was that at the time, Elgin basketball was the place to be. All right, we had great programs. But what was good, all these guys that I played with, all right, had little children. All right, so I got people to buy into the fact that we weren't trying to win a 2nd to 6th grade program. We wanted to build athletes. All right, and that's what we did. And all the players in town, brought their kids into the program. I got Jim Harrington. Jim is new to the city. All right, I got him to bring this little scrawny little 2nd, 3rd grader kid named Sean into the Y. All right, and then for a while, Sean and Darren were in the Salvation Army. How good was that? And everything. All right, so we developed that, all right, and we did it for years. But it was because people bought into the program. I think it's because I was a great sales guy. That's my job. All right, I'm in sales. I've been in sales for 30-something years, and that's what I do. I sold to people on the concept that the YBL at that time, we wanted to make good programs for the high schools. And if you take the time from that period of time, Larkin, Elgin, St. Ed's, Elgin Academy were all great basketball programs. All right, it was a great time in the city of Elgin. So from the Y, my wife was a softball player, all right, so she got me involved, or got the girls involved in softball. But I knew a little bit about fast pitch softball because my dad, my stepfather, was a fast pitch player. So then I was like, well, these guys don't know how to teach this. So what does Deryl do? Deryl started coaching softball, all right? And what was great about that period of time on the west side of Elgin, my wife was involved with Girl Scouts. So we had a big influx of girls in the girls softball because my wife was involved with Girl Scouts, and we did a great job recruiting. So we started, and we had an idea between Marlene and I. I would coach Corey and Katie at the young age, up to 12. She would take over at the middle age, 13 to 15. Then I'd come back in at the big league level, all right, 16 to 18. I think I got the better of the deal, all right, because the old group, that 16 to 18-year-old kids, all right, was the District 13. All right, so we had Continental, all right, and we were the best, all right, of that group. So I became the manager for the Big League All-Star team, District 13. But what we did is we got buy-in from all the kids, the good softball players in town, that instead of playing AAU, just stay here with District 13. And we could have the possibility of getting to the World Series. All right, and that's what we did. 2 years in a row. We were 4th and 3rd place at the World Series, and it was a City of Elgin team. We had kids from Elgin High. We had kids from Elgin Academy. We had kids from Burlington. We had kids from Larkin. And thank God we had this one kid from Larkin named Katie Carter, who later played at DePaul, that could lead us and carried us all the way to the World Series for 2 years in a row. All right, and Jim can tell you, and all the coaches can tell you, there's nothing better than having an All-American on your team that can make you look good as a coach, right? So, and my involvement with Little League and Continental, we help build, if you ever drive, you get your driver's license at the Secretary of State, we helped build that facility, 21 acres. All right, I got involved in that because we had to move, but we didn't have a plan. All right, and again, Daryl's a sales guy. I got a lot of volunteers. Lauderdale, Bill Lauderdale, Lauderdale Electric, always gave me equipment. Scott Klingberg worked for the city of Elgin. All right, he always let me use equipment from the city of Elgin as we built that park. All right, so it was a combination of having really good friends. But what I like to say in the end, the city of Elgin is great. All right, I travel all around the United States, and believe me, I do, probably more than anybody here. All right, and I go to towns bigger and smaller. All right, but there are very few to have this type of gathering. You guys involved in the Hall of Fame, you do a great job. What you do for the community, the involvement, the scholarships is a great thing. So I want to thank all of you first, because you guys, without you, this kind of gathering doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen in many towns. So thank you very much for this. I appreciate everybody that voted for me, and I love all you guys. Thank you very much.